From the St. Clair College Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario, it's time for OCAA men's basketball playoff action. Today is round one between the Cite Coyotes and the St. Clair Saints. Good evening, this is Aaron Sanders with JP Justin Prince. Glad to have you here. And you know, JP, this is going to be an interesting ride. West versus East. The winner of this will go to Lambton for the Final 8 to play for the OCAA Championship next weekend. But the road starts here for these two squads.
Absolutely a lot of pressure for these two squads tonight to try and come away with the victory. St. Clair hosting their first playoff game since 2014, I should rather say. First time in this building. So the pressure is on to try not just get themselves to Lambton, but win in front of their home fans tonight. And for Cite, it's been a journey to try and build themselves up for this moment to try and come away with a victory tonight.
And right on the button, we talk about the Cite Coyotes, and here they are, coming out of a 4-game winning streak to cap off the regular season, 11-9 record, 81 points per game, but they're the best team in the free throw line, so obviously the onus for St. Clair is don't foul them as often.
Yeah, absolutely. That free throw percentage is definitely something to keep an eye on. The top team, as you mentioned, the OCAA. But keep an eye on the rebounding as well. They were the top rebound margin team in the regular season, averaging 7 boards a game over their opponents, which can make it difficult tonight.
And it may be difficult when you have one of the league's top scorers, Haruna Diop. 35 minutes per game, that's fourth in the OCAA, and averaging 20 points per game OCAA as well. This is a player that could basically do it all, and he opens up a lot of scoring opportunities.
Yeah, strong rebounder as well, averaging about 8.8 boards a game, but as well, that shooting and scoring is on 46% from the field. So he's somebody who, if St. Clair doesn't try and slow him down at any point, could go off. There's been many times in the past couple years, there's been big scoring performances against the Saints.
That's the number 5 team, and this is the number 3 team on your screen. St. Clair, 14-6 record. They lost their regular season finale over at Conestoga, but they averaged nearly 90 points per game. And the big news coming out of this is David Gomez Jr. is back, so expect a different St. Clair team tonight.
Yeah, going to really help with the scoring to see Gomez Jr. back, as that scoring percentage went down after he had to miss the past few games. For St. Clair, it's a team where you need to try and keep Gomez Jr. out of the ball game to try and get a victory if you're the opponents.
The X factor for the St. Clair Saints, Josiah Deere. And remember, this guy was a part of the Durham Lords a season ago. But look at this, 40% from the field, 32% downtown, 24.3 points per game. And you know what? This is a guy that made a big impact at the start of the season. It's been consistent ever since.
Yeah, absolutely. I see him kind of as a microwave for the St. Clair Saints team. If you allow him to get hot from beyond the arc, there's a strong chance that the offense pulls away with them, and he can hit stretches of 3, 4 triples in a row if you allow him to.
It's 3 versus 5. The winner has a ticket to Lambton. That's the Coyotes and the Saints, and we'll have tip-off right here on We Digital after this.
We're just about set to go. The St. Clair College Sportsplex.
Hey, Herman Moore here, Detroit Lions legend and 4-time Pro Bowl player. Hey, get your tickets and join me for the 15th Annual Westby Awards on Tuesday, March 10th at the Caboto Club.
The 15th Annual Westby Awards are brought to you in part by Unifor Local 444, Lucier Glove and Safety, Hotham Building Materials, AM 800 CKLW, and We Digital Productions.
Are you passionate about a particular sport? Would you like to combine it with your education? Are you thinking about a career in one of the many rewarding construction-related trades? Do you love subjects like science, technology, engineering, or math? Take a look at the academies of the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board. You'll be glad you did. And years from now, you'll look back on your high school days as the best times of your life. The Academies of the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board. We're with you all the way.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the St. Clair College Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario for tonight's coverage of OCAA men's basketball. It's a playoff game tonight as the Cite Coyotes take on the St. Clair Saints on We Digital Productions. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders in the Monts on Time Express broadcast booth as introductions get underway. And let's take a look first off at your starting lineups. First, for the 11-9 Coyotes, it will be Harunya Diop starting alongside Maduak Akal. Rounding up the starting lineup, Salim Koulibaly alongside Juvie Gardner, along with Vigas Bangura. For the 14-6 St. Clair Saints, David Gomez Jr. makes his return to the lineup after being out for the past couple weeks. Sam Shaw starts alongside Dalen Davis, Jalen Harmon, Glenn Willis-Harris rounds out the starting five. Opening our introductions underway with the pyrotechnics about to go in full force at St. Clair College. Aaron, a big playoff game tonight for the St. Clair Saints. Their first home game for the postseason since 2014. Their first one in this building.
Yeah.
And their fifth best record in terms of positioning and wins in program history.
And in the last few years, it was interesting to see how St. Clair has evolved. And you know what? Brandon Segan and Matt Sykes did a terrific job, but they have a lot of players that really want to punch their ticket into Lambton. They want to represent the program real well. They did it this year. Now, postseason, it's a different season now.
Remember, these teams are battling for the chance to go to the OCAA Provincial Championship Final 8 next weekend at Lambton College in Sarnia. And the interesting with the Coyotes' point of view, they entered tonight looking to try and keep up their winning ways. They came into tonight a 4-game winning streak, Cite did. But as well, we're talking about this before tonight's game, a program that's been on the rebuild for the past couple seasons.
And that's right, and it's all based on their head coach, Manuk Luau, his 4th year with the program. And when he joined, they only won 1 game, but they improved themselves from 1 game to 2 to 4 wins and now up to 11. Keep in mind, before that winning streak happened, JP, they were 2 games under 500. They really ended off the season on a strong note, and they look to continue that today on the road to Lambton.
Before we get to the keys to the game, your officials tonight, Derek Stewart, Jamie Ireland, Chad Pereira. Aaron, in your opinion, what will it take to win tonight?
Well, when it comes to this game, I think you have to keep both of these clubs off the free throw line. You're talking about one of the top teams at the charity stripe. La Cite first, St. Clair in third. And we know, we've seen in the last couple of games, they've had some frets about their foul trouble, so they have to make sure they be aware of that.
St. Clair wearing their white jerseys with a green trim. La Cite in their black jerseys with the blue trim. About to get underway, Willis-Harris will jump for St. Clair. For La Cite, it will be Koulibaly, the 6'6" player from the Ivory Coast. We're underway for Windsor, Ontario. St. Clair with the first possession. Davis gives it off outside. Harmon from deep misses, no good. La Cite quickly trying to charge the way up the floor. Setting up the offense. A call. Guarded by Shawo. Pass to the high post. Quick pass down low for the bucket.
And that was a no-look pass right from the charity stripe, but that's what happens when you have that backdoor option.
Davis tries to give it down to Harmon. Harmon down the baseline. 16 on the shot clock. One back around the outside to Willis-Harris. Shawo has it poked loose. Stolen away by the Coyotes. Fast break led up by Koulibaly. He makes the bucket. 4:01 to start for the Coyotes.
And it's just basically the positioning. Once you're near the sideline, that attracts the double and triple team.
And all right, some of the defense coming into play. La Cite second in steals in the regular season. Shot no good from St. Clair. They start 0 for 3 from the field. Slowing things down. A call. Given once again to the high post. This time the first option taken away. Pass back outside to a call. 10 on the shot clock. Spinning inside. The drive. Diop through the traffic. Blocked out of bounds. Still 6 on the shot clock.
Glenn Willis-Harris led that charge down to the basket. We're going to take another look at this, I'm sure. is that drive right down the baseline, and Diop, one of the league's leading scorer, gets denied by one of the finest shot blockers in the West Division.
Quick shot outside, drops. And a 7-0 run for Cite, controlling all the momentum so far on offense.
And that's how you start, especially in the postseason.
Poked around, Davis still able to get the bucket. 90 seconds just past the mark in the first quarter on We Digital Productions for OCAA playoff basketball action. 7-2, Coyotes the score. Down low, Kalibali. Over top the post, no good. Rebounded by Harmon. Given off to Davis. Davis seen a lot of touches so far. He'll get a chance to touch the ball at the free throw line, trying 2 free throws.
Well, he's been improving since the halfway mark of the season, JP. He averages almost 8 points per game. That's just a good drive going toe-to-toe against Diop on the far side.
First personal of the game for either side. First for Diop on the match. Now, as talked about moments ago, free throw shooting could be a key. 3rd in the league in the regular season was St. Clair, 72.1% as a group, Aaron.
And you know, it's interesting to see they're well disciplined, and that was indicated as both free throws are missed by Dalen Davis. That's not a good omen coming from the 3rd best team from the charity stripe.
He was about a 66% shooter in the regular season, stolen away by St. Clair. Gomez Jr. has it nearly poked back. Willis Parrish drives through 2 defenders for the teardrop, yes!
And that's just hard, dribbling right in through the traffic, but he was able to balance himself, got the leader to go.
St. Clair breaking up that 7-0 run from Cite to start the action. Pass back down to the post.
That was nice.
Bobbled loose, turn back over, St. Clair possession.
Good positioning of the feet, but the defense was just too much near the elbow.
Believe that time, not able to hold on to the ball. He averaged 60% from the field in the regular season. Drive from Shallow, goes to Willis Parrish from 3. Can't tie it back up. Lebely gives it back up. Dion swung back down low, inside the double team, it's good.
He was able to gain enough separation off that hop step and take advantage of it.
Shallow, meanwhile, has it swatted, picks it back up. Tries to move it back away from the baseline, has it poked loose, stays Saints possession. About 3 minutes in the first quarter, Aaron, already the defense smothering from Cite.
Well, that's a good challenge, honestly, as Jalen Harmon goes for the 3 and misses it. But that's how you win the games. You start off with the defense, and then you slowly move on to the offense.
Cite in the regular season allowed 78.8 points per game. That was 6th in the OCAA. Outside, Gardner gives it back to Kalibali. Passed out of the post, stolen away by St. Clair. Shallow draws the reach in, and immediately taking account to that is Bangura on the reach, the first-year player for Montreal's first personal.
I don't mind the foul, but I don't get the option of trying to skip it right outside when you're right near the basket. You have 2 defenders right there, and they're smothering you right at the free throw line, so why would you dish it out outside?
Harmon, meanwhile, shoots it from the mid-range, can't get it to roll in. Davis draws the whistle, and they say he was grounded on the arm. Foul goes against a call. His first personal already, Cite's 3rd team foul.
And if Cite wants to stay into this ball game, as far as this is concerned, JP, they have to limit their fouls as fast as they can, and they can't overcommit on the box out.
Yeah, that was one of their vices when you look at the stat lines. They were amongst 19 personal fouls a game. Gomez Jr. off to start this game. Taken back up by the Coyotes along the far side. A call. Sizing up Shallow. Gets the screen. 12 on the shot clock. Pulls up from 3. Can't get it to go off the back rim. Shallow taps it to himself on the rebound. Gomez Jr. pulls for the mid-range. Still off the front rim.
He's taking good shot choices, but unfortunately, it's not adding up to the stat sheet.
Gomez Jr. 9th in the OCAA in scoring coming into this weekend. Down low, shot no good from the Coyotes. Meanwhile, approaching halfway to the first quarter here on We Digital Productions. Harmon gives it off to Davis. Has a bit of space off to Shallow. Shaw will try to break through the pressure. Inside, Gomez Jr. the drive off the front rim again. Fresh 14 for the Saints. Put back, chance is gone.
And it's a matter of getting your defender right off the feet with those nice post moves. And Dave Gomez Jr. just went right in, dug in, and got the 2.
Remember, he's had to miss the past couple weeks due to injury. He'll watch as the triple's drained by Diop. 12-6 Coyotes. Sizing up meanwhile, Gomez Jr. looking for space. Gives it off to Davis to Willis Paris for his second shot from deep, no good. Picked up in the glass by a call. Whistle called. Harmon wanted the jump ball instead. Whistles blow. And already appears to be a barber's chair timeout is wanted from the sides on the court. First one of the match. St. Clair taking the time to discuss things here in this 12-6 ball game. And I'd like to remind you, for those tuning in, that next weekend, championship weekend, makes its way to St. Clair for women's basketball. From March 6th through 8th, you'll be able to catch what will be some exciting action to determine who will be the OCAA Women's Basketball Champions. That'll be, once again, you can catch it live on We Digital, on WeDigital.ca. Now, of course, with that matchup earlier today for those women's basketball championships, many different teams battling in the postseason games earlier today. Lambton Centennial, for example, 96-67 Lambton. Fanshawe beat Loyalist 92-54. Durham and Conestoga. Durham came out on top 63-48. Humber over St. Lawrence 102-65. While Sheridan came up on top over UOTM 70-62. To help determine the seeding for the 4 different matchups on day 1 of the tournament area.
Absolutely, and you look on the first day, it will be Algoma and Lambton, Fanshawe, Durham, Humber, Sheridan, and George Brown against St. Clair. That's a mighty fine lineup for the first day of action.
There's some competitive teams absolutely in this year's tournament. Should be some fun next weekend. But these teams here want to go to Sarnia for the men's tournament. Back on our way from the St. Clair College Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario. First shot out of the timeout, no good. Rebound picked up by Willis Paris. Josiah Deere lined up on the floor for St. Clair. Harmon, Gomez Jr., Willis Paris. Rounding out the top, the 5 is Darnell Petty. Petty gets it on the outside, drives in the lane, can't get it off the back rim. Gets his own miss, down low Harmon. And whistle's blown. We'll go back the other direction.
And the defense continues to smother on St. Clair, and La Cite is just doing a really great job capitalizing on those opportunities and just applying the double team if need be. And they did it in one of the most toughest shots near the baseline.
Absolutely. They have been playing a stellar defensive game so far. They set up an offense. Bangura watches the triple go up, no good. Picked up by Willis Paris. Harmon sprints it up, giving a Deere for 3. No good. Taken back up once again by Diop. Diop trying to go coast to coast in the lane for the bucket.
And nobody's responding on the fast break as La Cite continues to damage St. Clair on the fast break.
St. Clair with the slow start offensively, trying to get things together on the from the field. Gomez Jr. baseline with space, yes!
Yeah, that's going to be the easiest shot he'll get all night because the defense just smothered right in there, but that opened up the weak side on the right, and David Gomez Jr. with a hop, skip, and a jump.
Setting things back up for the Coyotes, trying to keep their 6-point advantage. Approaching 3 minutes to go in the first. Driving in the lane at call. Ball poked around off of the Coyotes and out of bounds. St. Clair possession, multiple substitutions coming in. First for the Coyotes will bring in Chikina Mbagu. Also a couple substitutions for St. Clair. Bring in Jerry Mercury. Also going to bring in this sequence. Petty lined up alongside Hallman and Gomez Jr. Deere in the substitutions. Poked loose, Deere retreats back. Ball out of bounds. They say it goes off for the Coyotes. And our substitution coming in as well in this stoppage. Coyotes bring in one of their players, substituting Bangura out of the ball game. And there is currently a discrepancy in the scoring. That is why there is a delay here. They're currently trying to clarify the exact player amongst that substitution. They do have scoring logs and books down at the scorers table, which keep track of who is supposed to be in these specific games. They're trying to clarify real quickly who the specific player, pardon us, for the Coyotes has just substituted in, Aaron.
It is interesting to see how this will all work out.
That is Yusuf Midu that has been brought in for the substitutions. Deer puts up the long shot, no good. Deer took a tumble on the defensive side of the floor as the Coyotes swing it outside. Drive inside, draws the hard whistle. Take a look at the replay and you'll see why there's the hard contact.
And here it is, he's driving right down as Mbongu trying to go over Deer, but Deer tripped him up.
That's the first foul for Deer in the ball game, second team foul for St. Clair. Shot, meanwhile, drops for the Coyotes once more, 17-8.
And everything's going well for this Ottawa-based squad. They're picking their shots, and they're able to take advantage defensively as Harmon is set to go to the line.
And the foul is starting to build up, 14 foul for the Coyotes. And you'll see the reason right here.
And Harmon keeps on going right into the heart of the Coyotes' defense. So St. Clair's figuring if we can't beat them right down on the basket, you have to use all that speed in the world to penetrate and go right in for the foul.
Kalibali called for the personal, his first foul. And Harmon, 73% from the stripe in the regular season, had been previously before joining the Saints. Remember, Macomb Community College from 2015 through 17. It's been a huge part of St. Clair's offense this season for this playoff postseason run. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter here on We Digital Productions. Mid-range jump shot bounces in over Miles Hall.
And you know, Miles Hall did a good job. All he did was put his hand up and contest a shot. But when you have a better release, that's going to cost you.
And Bongu on the jump shot on that make. Mercury goes baseline. Whistle called. It's a treble.
And this defense keeps on impressing me, JP. I mean, this is the team that keeps on forcing turnovers, and here's another look at it. You're going to the weak side, and Jerry Mercury, he stutter-stepped right there. It's just too many steps from him. And keep in mind, Mercury's one of those players coming back from an injury, more specifically concussion.
Indeed. Meanwhile, jump shot airballs its way out of bounds back to St. Clair. As the Saints take it back up, trailing by 9 under 90 seconds to go in the first quarter. Pass to Petty, tapped away and stolen away. Fast break taken up for the quick pass. It's good once more.
And you know how sweet it is when you get things to work out on the transition. Deer for three.
Kalibali on the last make. That one tapped out of bounds. As the claps will come from the Cite side, they get possession.
Let's take a look at this fast break opportunity once again. All ran by Mbongu. He slowed things down because he knew Hall was going to meet him to the basket, and Koulibaly was right behind him. Just a good use of the back door.
Couple substitutions back onto the floor. Bagura back onto the court for Cite. St. Clair bringing in Mercury, Hall, Gomez Jr., Shawo, Davis, the 5, changing things up. Pass nearly goes out of bounds. Move back up top. 8 on the shot clock. Jump shot drops.
And you know what I'm seeing from Cite as opposed to St. Clair? The hustle. No matter what you do, you use the hustle to open up the shots and close things out.
And an offensive foul called against St. Clair.
And when you have the hustle, you have the energy from Mayok Luau, their head coach. He admired that play right there. That's how you take a charge. And now Cite just opening up more opportunities.
Davis's first personal, 13 foul against St. Clair. Not looking pretty for the Saints in this postseason matchup so far. 30 seconds to go in the first quarter, 14 on the shot clock. Trying to find space, a call. Tries to pass it out, draws the whistle instead. Gomez Jr. goes to the floor in the process.
That's going to be his first foul of the night. And as you can see, Cole driving and Shallow and Gomez Jr. meeting right there. It appears that Gomez Jr. reached in a little too much.
Yep. And they will give him the forward progress in the play. Rain Cite to the stripe. 4 personal against St. Clair overall. The best free throw shooting team in the OCAA in the regular season. Second one doesn't drop, however, from the 93% shooter in that campaign. Shot clock is off for St. Clair. Hall draining down the clock. Nearly has it poked loose. Outside Shallow. Smothered on the outside. Gomez Jr. spins for the mid-range, trains it. 2 seconds left in the corner from nearly full court. No good. However, the Coyotes in control early. 24-12 the score after 10 minutes of play. We'll be back with more coverage of OCAA men's basketball in this crossover playoff matchup. After these messages, you're watching We Digital Productions live from the Road City.
Hi, I'm DJ Smith, head coach of the Ottawa Senators. For the best in local sports coverage, We Digital.
Here, it's about you. Your passion, your skills, stepping up to the challenge. It's here where we rise above, soar to our full potential, and where we become work ready. St. Clair College, it's time to take flight. Rise above the ordinary.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Barron Championship rings. This is who we are.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Windsor, Ontario for more coverage of OCAA men's basketball. The Cite Coyotes lead 24-12 over the St. Clair Saints. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders, the Monson Time Express broadcast booth. And just taking a look at the stats at our scores table in the broadcast booth, Aaron, St. Clair had some good shots. It's just they didn't make them. 5 for 19 from the field.
26% in total, JP, and you have to keep in mind they were smothered by the Coyotes defense, and I think it's one of the toughest defenses I have seen in the OCAA this season. Keep in mind, points in the paint, La Cite 10, St. Clair 8, and remember, the majority of those 10 points came off the transition.
Meanwhile, St. Clair's on the transition after the first missed shot from the field in the corner. Shallow slows it back down. Outside Willis Paris, his third shot from deep, this time drops.
So after 2 attempts from downtown, Willis Paris finds a spread stolen by Hall.
Once again, St. Clair back on the offense. Gomez Jr. Swung to Davis. Shallow. 5 on the shot clock. Drives it to the cup. Can't get it to go. Rebounded that time by Akal. Driven forward by Midu. In the traffic, no good. Second chance off the front rim. Third chance poked loose. Davis rebounds and avoids the reach. Already pressure coming in the backcourt. Move to the front court. Gomez Jr. with some contact. Can't get it to go. Ball goes out of bounds as it'll be inbounded by St. Clair after that.
And you can see how close it was from being a broken play, JP. Like, bodies are scattered all over the place. Maintaining his composure was Gomez Jr. as he just continued to take it right in.
Kalibali already getting ready to come back into the ball game on the next stoppage for the Coyotes. The 6'6" big man had a good first quarter. Hall, meanwhile, drives it in, misses off the back rim. Coyotes bring it back up. Akal led the game in scoring that first quarter with 9. He pulls up from deep and drains 3 more.
Do you think he's nervous at all that he's playing in a crossover playoff game? Because I don't think so right now. His composure is a lot to be accomplished of.
Very good shooting from him so far. He's now 4 for 7 on the game. Pass goes off of Davis's legs and out of bounds. Coyotes possession.
The energy is just picking right up, second for La Cite. How do you win games? Defense.
Second Barber sheer timeout of the matchup called, the second by St. Clair. They have none remaining in the first half. Coyotes have both of theirs. So far, coaches Brendan Segan and Matthew Sykes not happy with what they've been seeing so far in this postseason matchup. But one thing to bring up, this is a team, mind you, that, yes, they were 11-9. However, the 4 teams in front of them, 7 of their 9 losses came to those teams in that East Division.
And it's interesting to see how things play out for La Cite Coyotes, because remember, 5 games ago, they were 2 games under 500. Went on a 4-game winning streak, and they were able to finish their season 11-9, 2 games over 500, and they did it in very convincing fashion. West Division, however, we have a different story.
Absolutely, with St. Clair coming home in third with 14-6 record. Their 5th best winning total in the history of the program, their best since 2014. They had some big victories down the stretch, including against teams like Redeemer, but that up and down second half of the season cost them a lot of their chances.
And remember, they only won 4 of their last 8 games.
Yeah. In turn, they look to try and get something woken up. They brought John Lynch off the bench for this possession after the timeout. Shallow, Gomez Jr., Willis Paris, and Harmon round out the 5. Coyotes trying to swing it outside. Going down low, Kalibali back outside. A call with 2 on the shot clock. Can't get the right hand shot to go. Second chance opportunity for La Cite. Back outside, back down low, poked back out. Poked out of bounds off of Kalibali's hands.
And you can see a little bit of more energy on the St. Clair defense.
Shallow from deep, off the front rim. Tapped out of bounds, stays Saints possession with 17 on the shot clock. But they are still looking to buy some triples. Just 1 make from beyond the arc in this game. That was from Willis Paris this quarter.
And I think it's elementary that St. Clair has to find some ways to get a mid-range jumper in.
Yeah, they're looking to try and get something together this possession. Shallow. Outside to Lynch. Swung around to Harmon from 3. Can't get that one to drop either. And the ball goes out of bounds. They passed it on the baseline. St. Clair possession.
So St. Clair gets a break. Let's take one more look at it. And I guess it's based on who touched it last. Yep, right on the line.
Yeah. And that gives St. Clair another opportunity with 9 on the shot clock. Lynch, swung to Harmon. Back to Lynch from 3. Again, no good this time. Air balls it out of bounds. 27-15 the score, rooting in for this OCAA postseason matchup. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders, the Mounts on Time Express broadcast booth on Weed to Productions. Approaching 3 minutes into the second quarter. With it, Bagura. Pass back down low, able to shed his man for the bucket.
Did you see how he didn't even slow think for the spin move? He knew somebody was coming right at him, so he spun around and created separation. Now they capitalize on the fast break.
Trying to go coast to coast, does it with the right hand. Magura with 4 straight points to the field.
Yeah, this move's like those that takes a lot of experience to master.
Largest lead of the game right this moment, 16 points for the Coyotes. Turn back over once again, trying to pass it through traffic. And a jump ball situation drawn. Possession arrow goes back to St. Clair.
And Willis Parrott zeroed in on that ball immediately as Deere and Petty checks back in.
And St. Clair's trying everything they can at this point to make adjustments here. The thing is, the offense again has just had a difficult time breaking through the defense, whether it's been through the zone coverage or whether it's been man-to-man whenever they've gotten to those defensive sets.
Well, it makes it more difficult when the defense keeps on moving like this.
Ball movement gives it to Gomez Jr. off the front rim. Second chance, no. Picked back up by the Coyotes, taken up by Gardner. Dion. Reset now by a call. Given back to a call. Again from deep, way off the mark. St. Clair might have got a piece of that one. Deere gives it to Willis Paris. The quick pass, the quick bucket. And Willis Paris is down, holding the left side of his head. We'll take a look at this one, Aaron.
Pay attention to Willis Paris as he gets the ball, and he got hit by an errant knee. He's able to get up on his own terms. But yeah, that's the scary thing about trying to get a quick basket when somebody's coming right from behind and jump up for the block shot. You just have to watch yourself at all times and keep your head up.
5:59 to go in the first half. Willis Paris does stay on the floor, as he'll be taken back up by the Coyotes. Pressure at the half court. Nearly turned back over. Dion moved on outside. Gardner tries baseline. Passes along. Poked loose. Taken back by Gomez Jr. Looking to give it away. Back to Deere for three. No good. Tap back out. Coyotes rebound the basketball. A call will run the offense once again. Has a game high 12 points. O'Gara has it pumped loose again. This time to Gomez Jr. He drives it, gets wedging against the glass. Jump ball called. Possession arrow goes to Cite.
You just can't get it. You can't have any more perfect timing than that. Gomez Jr. for a second there, I thought he was going to slow things down, but he continued to rev on, and right on his case was Gardner. Just perfect timing.
What a play by Juvie Gardner, the second-year player from Ottawa, Ontario. And now Cite takes the possession back.
On that last play, it should have been one of those situations where St. Clair should have slowed things down because they realized there were two men right behind Gomez Jr.
And Gomez Jr. knew he was coming too.
That's true.
He's seen him. Meanwhile, Petty tries to poke it loose. Nearly stolen away. Instead, it draws the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. There are at least 3 times where that could have been turned over.
And you see, Cite has a lot of speed. Diop meeting Harmon, and he recovered the dribble. But the problem is, St. Clair keeps on either reaching in or just putting their body out there, and that draws the contact.
And Diop, the second-year swing player, 7th in scoring in the OCAA, 20.1 points per game. Also averaged almost 35 minutes a game entering tonight. He was also 3rd in total points, Aaron. It's been a quieter night for him so far. Poked loose from Mercury. Petty gets it back. 13 still on the shot clock. Petty cuts it in, swatted away. Picked back up by the Coyotes. And an offensive foul drawn by Harmon.
You know what, despite that, it's just back-to-back highlight plays from Juvie Gardner.
Bangaro's second personal, first team foul, but look at this monster swat.
Look at this. It's a block party, and you know what? He didn't even step up right in front of him to go for the block. He stayed in the same position, JP.
And still discussions here before they inbound the ball. As you see the signal given to the officials, a warning, it appears, to the bench. Couple more substitutions now being brought in the sequence now too. Midu coming back onto the floor. They're also bringing in Mbangu for Cite. Approaching 4 minutes to go in the first half here on We Digital Productions. Hall to Deere to Mercury for the 3. Gets it.
And that's only their 3rd made 3 of the evening. Remember, they've had their struggles, but you don't want to live by the 3 even though you're down double digits.
Passed along to the corner, meanwhile, by the Coyotes. Double team for Mercury and Deere. Pass down low. What a pump. What a bucket.
And honestly, that's what Gomez Jr. should have done on the fast break a few minutes ago. Pump fake, get somebody off their feet, slow things down, and pop it, and 1.
And Harmon to the line to shoot 3 with contact in the air. And you'll see why. Mbangu called for the personal.
And have you witnessed how many times Harmon was looking to go to the line for 3 free throws? This is his perfect time to do it. I think this was his 2nd attempt to try to go for a 4-point play.
What are your thoughts on how Harmon's been playing so far tonight, Aaron?
And you know what? He's been a little bit gritty today. as opposed to anything else as he gets that first free throw to go. You just have to keep on feeding him the ball and just trust into him. He realized the team is staggering from downtown, so if he's able to get a good mid-range jumper off, I think that'll bring up a much more confidence for St. Clair. They're down 13 given that, so they have to realize by now what works and what doesn't work.
At this point, what else do you adjust if you're St. Clair in this type of situation down 12?
The ball movement. You can't expect to penetrate all the time because La Cite will just step up near the top of the key, so you have to be crisper with your passes as Josiah Deere forces the turnover.
That was nearly a reach, and Deere forces the turnover.
That's strange. For a second there, I thought it was going to be a foul.
And Deere can't make the three meanwhile. And a whistle drawn. Deere wanted the play to keep going. Instead, La Cite appears to be setting up for the inbound. It does go against Deere. Reach on the arm. Deere's second team foul. Josiah Deere will get the chance to take a breather on the bench with the substitution. Gomez Jr. back onto the floor. Gomez Jr. will defend Diop up the floor. Diop avoids the reach, and a jump ball called on the shot. And St. Clair gets the possession arrow. And all of a sudden, the defense from St. Clair has completely flipped the script in the past 2 minutes.
Well, they needed to, because remember, they were down by as much as 15. So they had to find some way to limit the Coyotes' shots.
Mercury, baseline drive, doesn't go. Tapped out of bounds, La Cite possession.
You know, that's a crying shame because we rarely see St. Clair get an opportunity to get that fake off of the corner and just drive right in easily.
Full court pressure. Backs off from St. Clair after the inbound. And a whistle called. A pass goes out of bounds. And Bungu getting the pass apparently stepped on the sideline.
That's been one of the vices for the Coyotes in the last few minutes. Those turnovers have been basically stepping on the line. And no doubt about it, Manok Luau wants to talk things over.
Their first barber's chair timeout for the Coyotes on the game, with them leading by 12. The past couple minutes, you can understand why they've called the timeout. It's gotten very interesting in terms of the flow. But I'd like to remind the folks tuning in that on Tuesday, March the 10th, the 15th Annual Westby Awards get underway at the Caboto Club here in Windsor, Ontario. Tickets available for $150. You have the chance to listen to keynote guest speaker Herman Moore, the former Detroit Lion. Doors open at 6. Awards start at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. For more info, go to thewestbys.ca. And the Westby is a huge part of the community here, Aaron, in Windsor-Essex County. It's always something that's always circled on the sports calendar in the region.
Well, when it comes to coaches and the players, it's one of the prestigious honors in the Windsor-Essex County. So we invite you to tune in and come over to the Westbys a couple of weeks from now.
Indeed. 3:31 to go in the second quarter, Aaron. At this point, though, the point was trying to be made, though, of it's taken a weird turn in terms of how the momentum is flowing at this point. If you're one of these coaches, what would you have said to try and get the momentum going your direction?
Well, you know what? Let's start off with La Cite because their turnovers have been coming from stepping right onto the sideline and the baseline. You have to be ready for St. Clair to strike defensively.
Nearly stolen away from St. Clair, meanwhile, with 10 on the shot clock. Harmon, Boyd passes it outside. Henny from deep gets it to drop. Leads down to single digits for the first time since the early stages of the second. And St. Clair trying to rally the comeback. Baseline again, stepping on the line. And Bongo again.
Unbelievable.
And another big time for a turnover. Take a look at this, though.
Unbelievable, but first we're going to take a look at the Darnell Petty tray. And look at this. With the fake and the nice ball movement, Mercury observing Petty, and he gave him his reward.
Beautiful extra pass to set up that bucket. By the way, Willis Parrish onto the floor for St. Clair with the substitution. Harmon down the baseline through traffic, can't get it to go. Quickly given in transition for the bucket. Bangura again.
And I like how Bangura just leaned right in for the basket instead of just having his body stiff right up to the basket. He leaned right in for a better shot.
Gomez Jr. tries to set up his offense. Off to Davis from deep, no. Picked up the rebound by a call. Given up the floor. Dion, pass back, given to the scorer's table for another turnover.
And we're seeing the turnovers pile up here for the Coyotes. It was a story for St. Clair the quarter ago, and now Josiah Deere comes in. He's in early foul trouble at the moment with 2. But I figure with the shooting groove that St. Clair has right now, you get one of your leading scorers up there to try to continue things.
Remember what's discussed in the pregame as well. If Deere heats up, the offense can heat up, especially from deep. Gomez Jr. drains the mid-range. 9-point deficit. Nearly turned over again. A call. Slows it back down. Back up on the high post. Driving in traffic, contact on the face. Draws the whistle.
And Josiah Deere picks up his 3rd foul. How about the fake drive from Hamidou? And Josiah Deere trying to meet him at the basket.
And Deere already trying to plead his case to his coaches, but he jumped on the pump.
It's not a good night for him.
First free throw, no good. Midou, a 77.8% shooter in the regular season. Banks in the second, substitution coming back in, Kalibali.
You rarely see somebody use the backboard at the free throw line, but you know what? When it comes to free throws, it's free, and you could use anything you want. That's just great accuracy.
Shao now onto the floor for St. Clair.
3-2 zone, Cite.
St. Clair looking to break through the zone. Space in the corner for Shao from deep. Off the front rim again, tapped out of bounds. Cite possession. And you can tell by how they wanted to bring in Deere and now having to bring in Shao with the 3rd personal. St. Clair wants to start making some triples, bringing in their deadly outside shooters.
Yeah, but you don't want to rely on the 3 that much because remember, they shot more 2s than they did 3s.
Yeah.
And the reason why they were able to get some 3s to go is the good ball movement. When they went to the 2 points, JP, it's because somebody took charge. Once they passed half-court line, they went coast to coast. They didn't even think about getting the extra pass down.
Mercury back in the game for Harmon, meanwhile, as Mercury rejects it out of bounds. Came from all the way outside to the corner.
Look at that. And you know, that's one of the most hardest spots to get a block off because if you block from the side, chances are you're going to be called for the foul. Turnover.
Shao with the steal, double teamed, able to get off to Davis. Back to Shao across the timeline. Shao to Davis for the quick transition 3. Can't get it to go. Mercury, fresh 14. Davis shuffled along, whistle drawn. Inbound coming down the baseline. And pushing foul that time.
And Madaraka Cole knew it was on him because they were going right down in the middle, and there he was. He was close to the ball, but he had to find some way to stop the action.
Down low, Mercury draws the shooting foul, it appears this time. Yes, indeed, on the hold, on the attempt. And you see Bangura trying to plead his case. That's his 3rd personal. And quickly, the Coyotes go from 2 team fouls to 4 in the span of 10 seconds.
It's been one of the weirdest quarters that we have witnessed here this year because in the first quarter, things were going St. Clair's way is because of the Coyotes' tough defense. But St. Clair's stepping it up on the other end, and they're allowing themselves to get more buckets. They're becoming more confident to go right inside.
2 substitutions coming in, meanwhile, for the Coyotes as they try and get things back on the tracks for them. And Baku coming in for the first time, Bonaventure Conde.
And remember, the Coyotes' biggest lead was 14, so you have to wonder why it's single digits now.
And a bullet pass to the first row of the grandstands. The turnovers are piling up here. It seems like this full court pressure from St. Clair is just causing chaos.
You best believe that's going to be one of the points of discussion at halftime.
Gomez Jr. meanwhile sets up under a minute to play in the first half. St. Clair trails 38-30. Outside, Davis drains the jumper. Leads trimmed down to just 5. Saints pressure backs off this time. Mercury nearly strips it away. Down the baseline, the drive, wide open space, and Baku with the bucket.
And he was all alone the whole time, just waiting for the perfect opportunity.
Was Parrish signaling for Schauer to find space. Schauer shuffles it away to Mercury for the assist in the bucket. Shot clock is off, under 20 seconds to play in the first half. A call, tries to dribble it down. Outside, the pump from Dion. Back to the corner. Back along the outside, dribble long. Pass back outside, 2 seconds, out the buzzer, he's got it! And Odak, a call with the buzzer beater. Enters the half with 15 points, and Cite leads 43-35 in one of the stellarest first halves in a while with the St. Clair College Sportsplex. Halftime coverage coming up after these messages. You're watching We Digital Productions live from Windsor, Ontario.
Mont's On Time Express has all of your delivery needs covered with a fleet of 50 vehicles, including cargo and sprinter vans, along with 24-foot straight trucks. It doesn't matter if the freight is big or small. Mont's On Time Express can guarantee safe and prompt delivery service throughout Canada and the United States. Licensed to broker freight throughout North America, Mont's On Time Express features same-day delivery service, along with a state-of-the-art dispatching system and live GPS tracking assistance. Mont's is fully insured and Canadian bonded and has certifications with FAST, CTAT, PIP, and SmartWay. Mont's On Time Express is open 24 hours a day, 364 days a year. To get your delivery moving, contact Mont's On Time Express at www.montsontime.ca or call toll-free at 877-250-8282.
We're back live here at the Sportsplex on We Digital Production. I'm Aaron Sanders in the Mont's On Time Express broadcast booth. At the half, it's the Coyotes 43 and the Saints 35. Matt Sykes, the co-head coach of the Saints, joining me, and talk about a reversal of fortune. The first quarter, you guys started off slow, but you guys picked up the momentum. What adjustments did you guys make defensively in the second quarter to provide that big run?
We came out with that 2-2-1 and tried to be a little more aggressive, see if we could force some turnovers to get it back to the lead they have. We got 16 down. We were down at 16 at one point. Just to get it back to 8's a big start for us for the second half.
And I can see the confidence in the shooting rising up for you guys. Early on, you guys were very frozen from downtown, but you guys started relying on penetrating right down to the basket. So just talk about your change of shot choices and the confidence of these guys.
Yeah, we're young. We haven't been here before. We've never hosted a home playoff game here. Our guys just needed to get in a little bit of a rhythm. I think they're a little shell-shocked coming out here, and I mean, Cite did a great job. They were just all over us from the tip.
It took a little while for David Gomez Jr. to light up. He's one of the leading scorers for St. Clair with 8 points. I mean, obviously he was gone the last couple of games. Just talk about his improvements since his injury.
Yeah, he's been in the gym every day trying to get back for this moment. He started off a little slow. I think he was a little sheepish with the elbow, didn't want to get around the rim. He got going towards the end, so we're going to need a big second half from him.
Absolutely. And what can the team do to pick up and avenge this 8-point deficit in the next 20 minutes?
I think it's intensity, effort, and maybe a little bit of attention to detail. Guys are leaving that shooter open. Number 3's killing us. I think he has 15. He's just killing us from the 3, and we got to pick it up, and our attention to detail has got to be a little bit better.
The ticket to Lambton is on the line, so let's see what happens. Matt, thank you for your time, and we'll see you down the road.
Thank you.
Okay, Matt Sykes, the co-head coach of the St. Clair Saints. Stay where you are. Halftime coverage continues after this word.
understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Hello, Herman Moore here. Running down the field and catching touchdown passes for the Detroit Lions was always an incredible feeling. Now, being the best in my position was the goal every season. I never wanted to let my teammates or my coaches down. The competition was always a challenge, and it's one that I look forward to every game. I also know as a player for the Detroit Lions, we had many fans from southwestern Ontario. So on Tuesday, March 10th, I will be joining many great athletes, teams, and sports personalities of Windsor and Essex County as they compete for the coveted Westby Awards. I'm also thrilled to bring you some of my personal experiences as a professional athlete as I take to the stage as the keynote speaker for the evening. Now, it's going to be a night of highlights, anticipation, and celebration. So, be sure to get your tickets. Join me, Herman Moore, for the 15th Annual Westby Awards on Tuesday, March 10th at the Caboto Club.
The 15th Annual Westby Awards are brought to you in part by Unifor Local 444, Lucier Glove and Safety, Hotham Building Materials, AM 800 CKLW, and We Digital Productions.
Welcome back to We Digital. I'm joined now by the assistant coach of the St. Clair Lady Saints, Phil Melanis. And as many as you know, the St. Clair Saints will be hosting the OCAA Women's Basketball Provincial Championships 1 week from now. And Phil, I'm sure you guys have been preparing the last couple of weeks since the season has ended. Just talk about how you guys have been preparing for what's going to be a fantastic weekend next time.
Well, we've been working on what we do best, and that's press, ball movement, and three-point shooting.
Absolutely. Obviously, you guys are going to be playing against the Eastern Division team, the George Brown Huskies, to kick things off next week. And you guys know a thing or two of how the Eastern Division works out. Just talk about the difference between the style of play in the West Division and the East Division.
Well, difference is in the West, we press a lot. In the East, they like to slow down the pace and play a little bit more zone. And you know, with Nicole Tam, we don't have too much trouble with the zone. But if she gets into foul trouble, it's going to be tough.
And she's been doing a terrific job since rejoining the Saints. But I have to say this, you guys won the silver medal last season, so you guys know a thing or two about meeting the podium. With you guys having home court advantage for next weekend, does the challenge lay off a little bit, or do you think it's still the same challenge? Is it a little tougher than it is, or is it easy?
You know, I think it should be easier for us. You know, we're sleeping in our own beds. You know, we're playing in our own gym that we're practicing on all year. It should be easier.
What can we expect from this St. Clair Saints team? Because you guys finished off strong. Just talk about what can we expect from you guys.
Well, I think we're going to give everything we have. I think the girls are ready. You know, I'm going to call. We're going to go to the gold medal game.
You heard it here first, folks. That's a scoop, not a spoiler. Phil, thank you for your time, and we'll see you on Friday night.
Thank you.
So book that on the calendar. March 6th to the 8th, this is the Provincial Championships, and the St. Clair Saints will be hosting it. We got the first round bracket already set up, but we'll talk more about that later on. But first, we have these messages, and we'll be back for more halftime coverage.
This is going to be an exciting ball game, to say the very least. As we're just about set to go, the St. Clair College Sports Blitz.
Hey, Herman Moore here, Detroit Lions legend and four-time Pro Bowl player. Hey, get your tickets and join me for the 15th Annual Westby Awards on Tuesday, March 10th at the Caboto Club.
The 15th Annual Westby Awards are brought to you in part by Unifor Local 444, Lucier Glove and Safety, Hotham Building Materials, AM 800 CKLW, and We Digital Productions.
Back here in the Mont On Time Express broadcast booth, the score at halftime, the La Cite Coyotes 43, the St. Clair Saints 35. I'm Aaron Sanders, joined by the head coach of the Coyotes, Manok Luau, and I'm glad I said that right, but honestly, Manok, I talked to the coaches and I said it's a reversal of fortune. In the first quarter, you guys dominated defensively, but something happened in the second quarter which prompted a lot of turnovers. So what broke down?
I think we went away from what we were doing well, and I think we just got to get back to what we know.
Absolutely. One of the leading scorers for this first half is Madok Akal with 15 points. I mean, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody that he was able to heat things up, and especially for this team. Wise shot choices. I mean, just talk about the keys to the first half when it comes to going up at St. Clair.
I think we're a really good team, and so I think you're starting to see our adversity transform into gameplay. So,
do you detect any differences of play style when it comes to going up against a team from the Western Division?
I see that they're very offensive dominated, and I think that's something we got to watch for in the second half.
I know this is your fourth year in coaching. In the first year, things were a little bit bumpy for you guys, but you guys got better each and every year, and now you're riding on an 11-9 record. Just from those last 4 years, just talk about what changed from 4 years ago up to now.
A lot has changed, but I think the biggest thing that has changed is we're taking pride in who we are and where we're from. La Cite now is a name that people got to watch out from this year moving forward.
And I think this says a lot about the growth and whatnot, because you arrived in 2016 and all that other stuff. And you know what's interesting? You guys were under 500, 2 games under 500 about 4 or 5 games ago, and you guys provided a big winning streak. What changed from that point?
We started taking defense serious. We understand that you're not winning a championship in this league or any other league unless you're able to strap up.
20 minutes ago, one of these teams will go to Lambton. Just talk about the keys for the second half.
Keys to second half is being consistent with our defense and lowering our turnovers.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time, and all the best to you in the second half. That is Madok Luau, the head coach of the La Cite Coyotes. Stay where you are. We'll have second half coverage live from the St. Clair College Sportsplex in just a moment.
Are you passionate about a particular sport? Would you like to combine it with your education? Are you thinking about a career in one of the many rewarding construction-related trades? Do you love subjects like science, technology, engineering, or math? Take a look at the academies of the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board. You'll be glad you did. And years from now, you'll look back on your high school days as the best times of your life. The academies of the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board. We're with you all the way.
Hi, I'm DJ Smith, head coach of the Ottawa Senators. For the best in local sports coverage, We Digital.
Here, it's about you. Your passion, your skills, stepping up to the challenge. It's here where we rise above, soar to our full potential, and where we become work ready. St. Clair College, it's time to take flight. Rise above the ordinary.
Welcome back, everyone, to the St. Clair College Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario, where the La Cite Coyotes lead 43-35 over the St. Clair Saints. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders in the Mont On Time Express broadcast booth as we get ready to take a look at the stat lines after that first half. And it was an interesting one, to say the very least, Aaron, because in that first half, St. Clair was able to close up that lead down to single digits. However, they shot just 28%.
Absolutely, and keep in mind, they were just relying on the threes at some times, and then they finally got themselves in the groove defensively, forcing turnovers. Look at this, 16-9, +7 for St. Clair. Those points off the turnovers. Remember, La Cite led in that department, but boy, do things change in the next 10 minutes. 15 points compared to the 7 points off of turnovers for La Cite. So it's very interesting to see how things will play out for the second half. But you have to tip the cap to La Cite for a smothering defense. But St. Clair found a way to crack the code in the next 10 minutes.
Especially with that full court pressure But the Coyotes, again, also have been leading on the board, should note as well. But it's been rebounding by committee to get that +6 advantage on the glass.
Yeah, keep in mind, no team has gotten easy baskets at this point. Even those threes, they were tough. Somebody had a handoff. Going right down to the basket, you would be met by the double team. You're not going to get easy shots unless if you're a big man and you put a flurry of those post moves on right there like we saw from Willis Paris and like we saw from La Cite. So they've been able to get things going on. Even though La Cite is up by 8, I think the momentum is slowly moving towards St. Clair's way. However, they have to be aware of the foul situation because Josiah Deere, he picked up 3 fouls, and that's one of those guys we put a star on prior to this telecast.
Indeed, he's just played 7 minutes, 2 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound for Josiah Deere on the match tonight. Amongst the air players in foul trouble, Bangura with 3 personal fouls for La Cite, 2 for a call on the night so far. The thing is, though, Akal had a stellar first half with that 15-point performance, including that buzzer beater. He's been difficult to stop for this offense.
Well, you know what? 5 of 10 from shooting, and keep in mind, 4 of 7 from three-point land. Even though somebody would put a hand up on him, he would just keep on delivering trays, and that has been a big issue for St. Clair. Even though La Cite is getting some good looks from beyond the arc, St. Clair hasn't been able to capitalize from there. But however, they shot 33% from three-point land, but St. Clair a total of 20% from three-point line. That's a percentage you don't want to live by.
Back and away for the start of the second half between the Coyotes and the Saints. Coyotes with the first possession. Pass down low, off the front of the rim. Tap back out, picked up by Showell. Off to Harmon, given back to Davis. St. Clair has to get it across the timeline. They do with Harmon, and they draw a quick reach in to start the quarter. That is the 3rd personal for a call. Now, Aaron, at this point, what would you have done if you were these coaches in terms of adjustments?
Well, first for the Coyotes, I have to be aware of my positioning, because remember those turnovers they gathered in the second quarter is because they were unable to read the St. Clair defense. They attracted the double team right at the baseline, and that's something you don't want to do. So be aware of your positioning, and if you're stuck, move the ball around. If I'm St. Clair, get close to the basket as best you can and just keep on moving the ball around. Don't be attracted to pressure.
Gomez Jr. no good on the shot. Second chance, he gets it to trap.
And slowly but surely, St. Clair is getting right back into this rebound game. And if it has to be in second chance opportunities, and why not? Good decision, tie up.
And the jump ball means possession arrow back to St. Clair. And that's what started working in the final half of quarter number 2. The double teams in the full court pressure up the floor.
Well, let me tell you something. In covering this league for a number of years, I'm now seeing that people aren't tying it up just to go for the steal. They want to get the possession. So that's just good team basketball. They're not trying to be selfish here.
That's turned over, meanwhile, though, from St. Clair. A call. Guarded by Showell. Board pass to the post. Khalid Lee gets the shot to go.
You know how rare it is to see a jump hook in today's game? That's just good post move.
Quick jump shot from Davis, no good. Meanwhile, approaching 90 seconds into the 3rd quarter in this OCAA men's basketball crossover playoff matchup to determine who goes to the Final 8 in Sarnia next weekend. Down low through the double, whistle drawn. Was Paris and Davis on the defense.
And that's one of the issues when it comes to going right down to the post. You have a big guy like Willis Paris. Well, the problem is you try to put so much effort into denying the blocks or just trying to go for the steal, you're going to be pinned with the foul no matter what. So when it comes to the double team as that free throw goes, you have to be careful on where you move your arms and where you place your body, especially in midair, because I'm sure for a big guy like him, it must be hard contorting that body in midair and try to stay away from the foul.
Second free throw doesn't drop. Davis had his second personal. He'll take it up as well for St. Clair. Given back to Harmon. Along to Willis Paris. From deep. Can't get it to go. Ball picked up by the Coyotes, but turned back over. They couldn't handle the rebound.
Now, for a second there, I thought that was going to be a foul on Dalen Davis because he had so much control when it came down to the ball, and he had a lot of body on him, honestly. So that's a strange call, but nonetheless, St. Clair gets it back.
Harmon, meanwhile, gives it off to Gomez Jr. And a whistle drawn back before the shot. No attempt. And quickly, the second personal for the Coyotes in the quarter, it appears.
About a minute and 55 seconds in, and you don't want to pick up 2 fouls like that.
Passed along to the baseline. Back outside, the extra pass to Showell. In the mid-range to Gomez Jr. Draws the whistle on the right arm. Gomez Jr. to the line to shoot for 2.
And you know, it took him 3 straight possessions to finally go to the line. First 2 times, no basket. And Willis Paris doing a good job finding Shallow. And when they were smothered by Koulibaly, Shallow looked up and found Gomez Jr., who was waiting right at the elbow.
And Gomez Jr.'s had a up and down game, you can say at the very least. Again, his first one back in a few weeks. Your thoughts on how Gomez Jr. has been and how he's been trying to improve as this game's progressed?
And you know, it's interesting because, again, he's coming out of an elbow injury, so you know, it's a little, I'm sure it's a little bit of a challenge for him to take those baskets right near the baseline like he used to, JP. So he's still warming up to it. But remember, I talked to Matt Sykes earlier at halftime. He said he looked good at practice. But I guess when it comes to contact, everything else, wow, another turnover.
And another one from Mbangu. And that brings him to the bench immediately.
This is overtones of the second quarter yet again. But to go back to David Gomez Jr., JP, I think if St. Clair gets on a scoring run, you could expect him to attack the basket much more and get back to his old self.
See if that does indeed be the case in the second half. Well, Willis Paris drains the corner J. Gap is down to just 4. Poklus stolen away again.
Look ahead, Gomez Jr. at the far side.
Harmon takes it to the strong. No offensive foul before the shot.
Just a hard take and a crying shame.
Harmon second, and this is why.
Watch the feet. Oh, just great positioning. My goodness. Terrific positioning, and that was Hamidou. That's fantastic.
And that's going to bring in a substitution. Harmon to the bench, Petty to the floor. Second team foul for St. Clair.
Great take, but greater execution from the Coyotes defense.
Defense looking to make a stop. Passed along to the corner. The spin move, the drive. Willis Paris with a hand on it. Taken up now by Gomez Jr. Tries to go up Main Street for the top J. Can't get it to go. Picked up by Koulibaly for the rebound. Move back up by the Coyotes. Slowed back down by a call. Finding some space and drains the J.
And you know what? If that wouldn't have gone, I'm sure he would have drew the foul because who was right behind him on that? Exactly.
Finding his way behind him and then open for space. Gomez Jr. drives in a triple team and draws the whistle on the shot. He'll get 2 free throws coming up. This time on the elbow.
And you see Gomez is favoring that elbow once again. That's been one of the injuries that he had to deal with this season.
Third personal, by the way, for Koulibaly. That was just as the shot was going up. Deere is now back onto the floor for St. Clair as well.
You have to imagine how comfortable Gomez Jr. is right now after that take to the basket. He makes the first free throw, but you have to pay attention to his elbow.
You can see that elbow pad on the right arm as he tries to bring this game down to 5. 49-44, Coyotes, 6:36 to play in the third. A call. Bullet pass. Given back outside. A call guarded by Showell. Back to the high post. Mid-range jump shot off the back rim. Picked up with a second chance over Willis Paris. No good from Koulibaly. Third chance. Given back down low for the cup bucket.
And how about that scoop pass Hamidou did between the 2 defenders?
Showell draws the whistle on the movement. And in the vicinity that time was Midou. Substitutions coming in will bring in Christian Mia for the first time. Freddie Mercury back inside, Jerry Mercury, I should rather say, onto the court in this 7-point ball game.
And you can see the def just rising up for La Cite. They have to protect the basket.
Gomez Jr. sets up at the top, poked loose. Willis Paris back with it. 10 on the shot clock. Pass bounces off a couple players. Last touch by Deere.
And it goes back to what I said earlier about why would you want to take that extra pass? Either going high to very deep to the basket or going low high.
And a very tough inbound pass leads to contact. Nearly half court on the inbound attempt.
And if it is on Josiah Deere, that's number 4.
And yes, indeed. And there was contact again.
Well, it looks like they turned that foul to Diop.
Yes, indeed. They were just discussing things after the contact, and they're still discussing things around half court. Some of the Coyotes going into the discussion as well.
You have to understand this would be an offensive foul because he did have control of the ball before he collided with Josiah Deere. And it is an offensive foul. That puts them over the limit, but it doesn't mean St. Clair goes to the line.
And that would be their 15th foul. And they're still discussing things. St. Clair's taking this opportunity to try and draw up a potential play.
It appears St. Clair will get the inbounds pass off a half court. But now, if you're La Cite, you just have to find some way to bounce back. That's just a tough play, but it's one of the most interesting plays we have seen here tonight because we've seen them regain possession. But the problem is the collision.
And they aren't going to bring Deere to the free throw line here, Aaron, in this sequence.
And that's interesting because I honestly thought it was an offensive foul. So Josiah Deere gets that first free throw to go.
Josiah Deere, just 3 points. Now on the night, make it 4. 5-point lead for La Cite.
He saved himself from picking up that 4th foul. So he has to remember that this play, it could have gone another way and the momentum could have shifted right away.
Diop, meanwhile, gets it in the corner. Pass back outside. Bagura, the drive through traffic. The second chance. Put back in again. St. Clair trying to go high tempo. Deere, pass back out to Petty. Awkward pass stolen away from Mercury.
And again, they're so close on their passes, but the problem is, why would you want to go for a bounce pass? Kick it right outside.
Midu tries to drive it. Willis Perez picks up the glass. Approaching halfway through the third quarter. Gomez Jr. trying to slam it, instead misses the layup.
That's Heartbreak City.
Move back up by Bangura. Over top his man, gets it to go. Nine-point advantage just past the halfway mark here on We Digital Productions for the third quarter. Mercury to Willis Paris. Takes the long shot. No good from 3. Taken back up high tempo. Willis Paris on the defense. The spin move draws the whistle. Willis Paris the foul.
Really, really strong take. And Willis Paris, the fact that he was able to get back there as fast as he did, it's just interesting to see. And Willis tried to block him right there. But again, a very, very strong take from Bangura.
Barber's sure timeout on the floor. Third team foul, by the way, in that sequence. Willis Paris is first, as both teams get the chance to discuss things. But for the St. Clair Saints, let's take a look at the athletes of the week. Just so happens that Willis Paris was the player of the week for men's basketball. Women's basketball player of the week, Nor Bazzi.
A very strong outing from both of these players. And Nor Bazzi, she keeps on impressing the OCAA people out there. And remember, there was one game where she scored 40 points. This was in one of their final road games of the regular season. And for Glenn Willis Paris, he keeps on improving his game. As of late, he's been a bully among the boards. So when it comes to that, both of these clubs are deserving of being the athletes of the week.
Absolutely. Both teams out of the timeouts. 2 Barber's shirt timeouts remaining for St. Clair in this half. 3 for the Coyotes. On the floor for Cite, they'll bring out a lineup that features Bangura lined up alongside Akal. Also onto the court this time is Conde. Rounding out the 5, Gardner alongside Mia. To the stripe this time is Bangura after the foul drawn on Glenn Willis-Paris. In double-digit points on the night, 10 points, but missing the first.
And it's interesting to see the Coyotes missing these free throws right now. Coming out of the first half, they ended up shooting 66% from the free throw line. That one goes, but if this game comes down to the wire, you have to think about these free throws and what could have been if they would have made them.
Absolutely. Every point matters. 10-point advantage for the Coyotes. Deer for 3 brings that gap down to 7.
And he felt it. He felt it right off his release, and he knew it was going to go right in. Question is, how do they respond?
Deer taps it out of bounds. That ball says hello to the scorer's table. Still 17 on the shot clock. Cite possession. And Cite already discussing their upcoming offensive play set here as the officials discuss things before the inbound.
Well, it looks like these players have to become playmakers at this situation. This is a crucial point right now.
Yeah.
7-point games under 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. And as you can see, they're taking Cite up to the backcourt. But you have to understand, they're going to try to let the game come to them and be playmakers. Foul on the inbound.
And an offensive foul called against Cite. Gardner and Deer were tied up. And now St. Clair gets possession back. Full shot clock for the Saints, approaching 4 minutes to go in the third. Outside Deer pulls up from 3 again, this time just a touch off to the right. Taken back up by the Coyotes. A call. Watches the drive. Bangura through traffic, no. Tap back out to Bangura. Back outside Gardner. Pass back outside. 10 on the shot clock. Open from 3. No good. Rebounded by Mercury inside the triple team. Mercury elects to dribble it out. Off to Gomez Jr. 2 players open. Willis-Paris draws the goaltend. And he tried to wedge the ball again.
Look, they did all they could to get right back on defense. Willis-Paris, that was a sure thing right off the bat. And it was Nicholas Gardner who followed through on Willis-Paris. And now checking back in is Koulibaly.
They also brought in Diop once again to run at the shooting guard spot. St. Clair, though, applying the pressure again on the inbound. Backing it off this time. Taken up by Diop, straight into traffic. Diop out of a quadruple team. Saints wanted a foul. Instead, it's a jump ball. Possession arrow stays on that end of the floor.
This has been one of the most interesting games I have seen. St. Clair was looking for a travel, but the official ruling on the floor was it was a tie-up. And now we're seeing Brandon Segan talking to one of the officials about the previous play.
Still 13 on the shot clock. The Coyotes keep the possession. And now they'll try and inbound from the baseline. Stolen away by Gomez Jr. Taking up the floor over his man for the bucket.
Did you see how he used his right side to maintain his balance and just got the soft touch right off to the left? That's just a great play coming off the fast break.
And a whistle drawn. St. Clair not happy because that is their 4th personal.
And they're foul to give too, but look at this. David Gomez Jr. helping St. Clair redeem themselves off that last play. But again, before he went up in the air, used his right side, drew the contact, and just finished off on the left side. That's just great momentum.
Absolutely. Davis' 3rd personal, by the way. Ball goes out of bounds. Turned back over by the Coyotes. Just a single possession advantage for Cite, 56-53, with 3:04 to go in the third.
And again, it's deja vu because it was around this point in the second quarter where things turned around for St. Clair. Now they're on the doorsteps, either tying this game or cutting this lead into one.
Petty back onto the court for St. Clair. Gomez Jr. with the screen. The drive, rejected. Second chance, back outside Willis Paris. Off to Mercury, to the corner for three. Yes, he's got it! Josiah Deere ties it up at 56. St. Clair trailed by as much as 16 points in the first half. Gomez Jr. takes it up with a chance to take the lead. Penny to Willis Paris for three again. Yes, he's got it! Timeout, Cite. The first Bombers chair timeout of the half.
Leave it to Gomez Jr. to find an open man. And how about this? Willis Paris starting from inside, and then he's getting rewarded from outside. What a three. That was clutch. But how can they keep up this momentum? And more importantly, how can Cite stop that momentum?
That is going to be something they're definitely going to have to discuss. Again, remember, St. Clair trailed by as much as 16 points with 7 minutes to go in the first half. Then, the couple minutes after that, went through a slow transition, a few turnovers, a few slow tempo plays. Then halfway through the first half, second quarter rather, that's where the turning point came.
But remember what I said.
Yes.
In order for St. Clair to get back in this ball game, they have to slow things down when they have the momentum. On the fast break, they have to make sure they make the wise decisions. And I think, like I said, Gomez Jr., he's been warming up to score more times than he has in the first half. Remember, he looked like he favored his elbow at the beginning of the third quarter off of that foul. But I think that motivated him to play harder. And I think that just corralled this whole team together to get that energy going on again. They've been picking it up on the fast break, and now we have to see how tough their defense could be in the next more or less 12 minutes and change of this ball game. Whoa.
Stolen away by Gomez Jr. again. Gets the teardrop. The second inbounds pass stolen away in the past 4 minutes by Gomez Jr. Cite goes to the corner, contested three. No good, rebounded by Deere. Taken to Gomez Jr. Misses the J. Chuck back up to a call. Squeezes through two defenders. For the teardrop back, no good. Picked up by Gardner with a fresh 14. Stolen away by Deere. Mercury, the tough play. Petty to Deere. Down low. Gets it again. St. Clair in full control in the third quarter now with 1:30 to go in the quarter. Cite trying to break up the St. Clair run. Outside, stolen away again by Deere. Going coast to coast for two. Before this scoring burst, St. Clair did not lead a single moment. Now they lead by 9. Outside, Diop, the pass goes on down low. Before the shot, 2 free throws coming up for Koulibaly.
Man, that was tough. That was real tough. But how about the fast break? Jerry Mercury keeping it right in bounds. And just Petty with a quick pass. That was a no-looker. That was a no-looker. And send it to the guy that's been catching fire since the second half began, Josiah Deere. Back-to-back buckets. But again, you have to go back to that last possession from the Coyotes. That was a tough one to call, honestly.
Josiah Deere with 12 points this quarter. But at the strike is Koulibaly. After the personal by Mercury. Chance to break up the run. Makes the first.
And that's how you get the game right back on your side. You silence the crowd and you can control the game at the free throw line. Remember, they missed a couple of free throws, and this is the best free throw shooting team in the OCAA.
Makes both free throws in a crucial moment. Hall, giving to Willis Paris. Space on the drive, getting it with the right hand. Passed out of bounds off of St. Clair, stays Cite possession.
Yeah, you have to have a replay of that. Look at the hop step. Look at the Euro. That's just perfect. And why not give it to the tallest guy on the court? He can maneuver himself around. Turnover.
Petty again on the steal. Deer to Hall, looking for space. Off to Willis Paris. Given back to Deer. One-on-one, avoids the baseline. Hall loses the ball. Taken back up by Cite for the slam.
Whoa.
Baccarat on the one-handed jam.
Whoa. Talk about ferociousness. Throw it down, big man.
Shot clock is off. 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. Petty. Smothered outside, gets the pump. The contested 3-0. Mercury, the one-handed put back on the buzzer. Yes, sir. The St. Clair Saints come all the way back to lead 69-60 after 3 quarters of play. You're watching We Digital Productions live from the St. Croix College Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario, in postseason action.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Baron Championship rings. This is who we are.
Welcome back to Windsor, Ontario, where the St. Croix College Sportsplex is a-rocking. 69-60 the score over the Cite Coyotes on We Digital Productions. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders and the Monts on Time Express broadcast booth. My goodness, what a third quarter. One of the craziest I think we've ever seen.
I think we have to throw that second quarter in the window because that third quarter trumped it the whole time. St. Clair outscoring Cite 34-17. You have to keep in mind where those 34 points came from. The turnovers. And St. Clair was able to capitalize on that and the fast break. And just look at the POT, the points off of turnovers, JP. Tell them what it is.
29 for St. Clair, 11 for Cite. 3 steals for Gomez Jr. in the third quarter alone. Deer with a couple steals, Penny with the steal, Showell, Davis, and Willis Paris all getting involved as well in this game. Back and away for the start of the fourth quarter, St. Clair leading by 9. Miles Hall drives it over defenders with the hard bucket.
Whoa, baby. How about the arc on that teardrop?
On the floor for St. Clair after the teardrop. Penny, Hall lined up alongside Harmon. Deer, Willis, Paris, the stolen away. No, taken back. Outside, 6 on the shot clock. Down the baseline, Willis Paris making contact. Ball tapped to the bounds, 2 left on the shot clock. Again, forcing a miss.
He's just becoming a force right now. Look at his stat line, 15, 4 boards, and 4 blocks. But how about that teardrop?
Top shot. 24-second shot clock violation in live action meanwhile. And already substitutions being brought in. Gardner will come into the game this time. He'll come in for Midu. Also lined up on the floor for Cite. Mia lined up alongside Bangura, rather. Rounding out the 5 on the court, Diop. Outside, Deer for 3. Yes, sir! The microwave with 17 points. Willis Paris with the steal. St. Clair tries to push it back up. Deer trying to find space in the corner. Gets it back to Willis Paris. 13 the shot clock. Approaching 90 seconds into the fourth quarter in this OCAA men's basketball playoff crossover match. Pass goes out of bounds. And Cite takes possession. We've seen a few of those from the Coyotes. For the first times for St. Clair, those types of passes.
Good hands on the fans that was able to catch that errant pass. But yeah, you're right. We've seen that in the first half. But how about that bucket right there?
Josiah Deer, the second that was released, would go swish.
And you know what? We all thought that he was going to be in foul trouble, but did he wake up here in the third quarter? He was very cautious about his decisions on defense because he realized once that steal was made from St. Clair, that just left them to roam up for an easy 2.
Diop, meanwhile, drives straight to the hoop for 2 points. Still a 12-point lead for St. Clair. Petty. Passed along to Deer. Given to Hartman. Back to Gomez Jr., finding space for the drive, yes!
And there was nobody from the Coyotes guarding the paint right there. They were all up the middle.
It's been a stellar second half for Gomez Jr. 12 points in the half. Shot no good. Mercury will inbound.
And I think that's one of those few shots outside of the transition where you're going to get an easy look. Good rejection.
Swatted again by Gardner. Taken back up for the drive. Again, it's good in transition.
Simple finger roll off the fast break. That's how you're going to get yourself back in the ball game.
Bangura on that transition bucket. Whistle blown with contact on the drive towards the baseline. This time going against Cite. This is why.
Gomez Jr. trying to go hard to the basket, and he's been doing that since the second half began.
Third personal, or checking fourth personal for Bangura on the game. Gomez Jr. caught for the backcourt violation.
And it's just great coverage from Maduak Akol.
That's going to bring an inbound for Cite. Keep an eye on Akol, though, the third-year player from Ottawa. 18 points in this game. Dion. Contested jump shot, falls in Deer's face. Leads back down to single digits between these two squads. Outside, Willis Paris to Deer. Wide open for 3. Too long on the shot. Ball rolls its way to the doghouse and out of bounds. Cite will try and charge the way back up. Cite entered this week number 10 in the OCAA rankings. St. Clair, number 5. Looking for the upset. Pass back outside. Swung back to the high post. Poked loose by Petty, back outside. Diop from 3, no. Picked up by Willis Paris on the rebound. Just past 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. Pressure for St. Clair on the inbound, on the play up the court. Willis Paris runs his way to the lane for the end one. Count it.
What a tough
Hold
move.
on. They're going the other direction on the offense. Yes, indeed, Willis Paris does get it.
They rescinded. Let's watch his feet now. This is coming right on the breakaway. Harmon feeding Willis Paris. 1-2. Very, very close.
Indeed, that's the fourth personal, though, for Coulibaly. And when he has been in this game, Aaron, it's been difficult to stop him. Now, their largest player in terms of height to the bench.
Very strange situation, and it is a three-point play, incidentally. But yeah, when it comes to him, he was able to open up a lot of scoring opportunities for the Coyotes. Now, you have to play a little bit of small ball to get back into this thing.
Diop, the drive, through traffic, can't get it. Second chance, outside for Gardner. Gardner, no good. Willis Paris back on the goal rebound. Taken back up by Petty. Petty to the corner. Deer wide open again, this time too long. Bit of a short stroke that time, Aaron.
And St. Clair has to reconsider their shooting options right now. Sometimes the three doesn't have to be your go-to shot. He had so much space to dribble close to the basket.
Diop, though, goes for a three himself. Off the front of the rim, second chance, misses. The miss that time for Mia. St. Clair tries to move it up the half court. St. Clair now starting to slow things down on offense.
And that's where they're at their best, slowing things down and getting some good ball movement around. They have to stay inside, though.
Gomez Jr. can't get it inside. Petty does get inside. Forced to miss. Gardner, that time of the defense. Move back down the floor for the easy deuce for a call. Back to single digits. A call, though, has 20 points on the night. Willis Paris from the corner, no. Tap back out for the rebound for the Coyotes. Cite gives it off. A call, slows it back down. Move back to Gardner. Gardner draws contact, and the foul.
And you know, the reason why the Coyotes are still into this game is because St. Clair keeps on relying on that three. And now look at how Cite responds offensively. They go right into the basket. That's something St. Clair has to do.
And you've seen there that slight bit of contact on the replay from Petty. His first personal, team's first of quarter number 4. They'll bring in Dalen Davis as a result. Cite with a chance to bring it down to 6. Gets it to roll in. 6-point lead for the Saints. 5 minutes to go in regulation. Gomez Jr. Sweat around, back to Gomez Jr. 12 on the shot clock. Deer again from the corner. This time makes it swish. Sia Deer joins the 20-point club. He strips it away. Alley-oop way off the mark. Davis will reset it. 8 on the shot clock. Gomez Jr. drives the tough shot. Can't get off the back rim. Gets his own miss. Fresh 14 on the shot clock. This time slow back down to Harmon. Jump pass to Davis outside of the front rim. Picked up on the rebound by Cite. Approaching 4 minutes to go. Diop inside a traffic jam gets it.
And again, the Coyotes just kicking it inside and getting close to the basket. 7-point game.
St. Clair again trying to spread it inside out. They slow it back for outside in. Harmon takes it outside for the shot, no good. Picked up that time by Mia on the rebound. Size up from a call. Chucks it up for 3. Can't get it to go. Willis Paris again rips down the rebound. Moved back up by Gomez Jr. Reach from behind by Gardner. Doesn't draw anything. Miss from Gomez Jr. He's down hard on the floor. Cite charges up on their end and makes the bucket. But Gomez Jr. is down on his end of the floor. Train staff immediately checking on his right leg. Again, Gomez Jr. being checked on the floor. 5-point lead for St. Clair, 82-77. A barber's chair timeout has been taken in this discussion. 2 timeouts. They have officially credited the timeout to St. Clair for the official statistics. That leaves just 1 remaining in this half, potentially. They'll give as much time as possible for this situation. But Aaron, this is still a tight game between these two teams. Could go any way.
Well, here's why it's tight. The Coyotes, they're finding ways to the basket. St. Clair is trying to find some way to get a dagger in. they're shooting it from as far as, I would say, 35 feet for those threes. But now I know the reason why they're shooting it from outside. The Coyotes aren't letting them inside the basket. And that was something that worked out for them in the first quarter. So they gathered everything together in the first quarter, second, and third, so on and so forth. And they've been able to take care of business.
I'd like to remind you once again that next weekend, the St. Clair College Sportsplex will be hosting the OCAA Women's Basketball Championship. From March 6th through 8th, you'll be able to see the best teams in women's basketball duking out for a chance to go to nationals and win the OCAA title. You can catch that all live on WeDigital.ca. Should be a fun 3 days of action, starting with the quarterfinals Friday, semifinals Saturday, and the final games on Sunday.
And here's the first 4 games once again on Friday afternoon. Algonquin Thunder playing against the Lambton Lions, Fanshawe Falcons, Durham Lords, Humber Hawks and the Sheridan Bruins, and the George Brown Huskies against the St. Clair Saints. So again, a jam-packed lineup starting Friday night.
3:23 to go in the fourth quarter in this men's basketball postseason matchup. Again, the winner advances to the OCAA Provincial Championship Final 8 at Lambton College, March 6th through the 8th in Sarnia. Gomez Jr. gives it off to Dalen Davis. With 8 on the shot clock, Deer from the corner makes it go again.
Give him 20. Give him more than 20. Make that 23. My goodness.
The quick shot back, no good. Put back, draws hard contact. Coming from behind, Harmon trying to jump over the back.
And Josiah Deer just keeps on chucking it up from downtown. It goes right down the rim. But on the other play, good heads-up play from Hamidou to put it up.
Harmon's 4th personal, 2nd team foul. One thing to note, 1 Barber's share timeout remaining in this fourth quarter, 2 for La Cite. Second free throw no good. Picked back up by the Coyotes. To the double team. Pass back down low. Again over top, traffic no good. Poked away from Davis. Fresh 14 for the Coyotes. Dion drives it to the triple team, draws for the triple, getting it to go. Bangura.
And it all started with Hamidou picking up his own miss from the free throw line and just opened up a lot of opportunities for the Coyotes.
2:24 to play. 4-point lead for the Saints. Gomez Jr. driving baseline to Davis. Gets blocked again by Gardner. Deflected out of bounds, still 3 on the shot clock, however. Take a look at this.
It's just the outside play. And again, St. Clair not finding ways to fill in that gap of the weak side.
St. Clair not able to make the shot from deep in live action. Ball on the floor, draws multiple whistles. Jump ball signaled. Possession arrow stays La Cite with a chance to bring to a single possession game, one of the largest possessions of this game.
And the fourth quarter has been going La Cite's side, JP, and it's because of the shot options and their ability to follow through on the rebounds. So you have second chances and you have good shot opportunities like this one coming up.
Diop tries to draw the whistle, instead gets blocked. Battle for the ball, draws a second jump ball. This time, St. Clair gets the possession arrow back. Deer and Harmon switch in the inbounding position. Defense sets up in the half court from the Coyotes. Davis sizes up. Outside Harmon, tries the baseline. Gets the bucket to go.
And it all started when he exploded right from the sideline.
That big play responded back with a turnover. Ball goes out of bounds off of Yusuf Midou.
We have a substitution coming up.
And that's going to bring Khalib Ali, not happy with what he's been seeing. He'll take out the player who just turned over the basketball.
And that's tough too because he's been taking care of business off the ball in the last couple of minutes.
St. Clair tries to charge it forward. Davis slows it back down. Double team, passes it back to Willis Paris. Slow back down for Gomez Jr. Poked loose. Chucked back. And a pushing foul called on the save attempt. The Cite ball either way. St. Clair foul on the play because of the push.
And you have to remember that was the exact spot where we thought St. Clair got the offensive foul. But this was a quarter ago. Just good opportunity for La Cite.
Was Paris' second personal. Down low, Diop draws the end one, count it! Chance to bring the deficit to just 3 at this strip. Fifth personal for Harmon. He is done for the night. And Harmon finishes with 7 total points, but a huge impact on both sides of the court.
He was terrific since the second quarter, JP. Ending up with 7 points regardless.
Petty will come in his position. Minute 12 to go in the fourth. Play calls coming from the sideline. Dion for the free throw. Misses. Picked back up by Petty. Will they get the jump ball? Possession goes back to Cite. What a heads-up play to draw that jump ball.
And we've seen this plenty of times from the Coyotes. If they're able to get the possession arrow work out in their favor, they're going to hover down on you and zero in on the ball.
Bangara now sets up the play. Back outside Diop. Swung back around the outside. For 3, it's good! A call brings the deficit to just 1. St. Clair double teamed off the inbound. Gomez Jr. able to keep it inbounds. Driving for the teardrop, gets it back! Gomez Jr. with 22. He's still getting up, the drive back, rejected, the putback dropped in. Gardner on the bucket. And Gomez Jr. went down again. C stays on the floor.
And that's the second time we've seen him go down to the ground after a tough take like that. But again, you have to be careful of the Coyotes. Full court pressure is now applied.
42 seconds remaining. Keep an eye on the corner. Deere gets it in that spot. Pass to the opposite side. Gomez Jr. contested shot drops. 3-point lead for St. Clair. A call with the ball for Cite. Gardner for the quick 2. No. Tap back out of bounds. Stays Coyotes possession with 14 on the shot clock. Barber shirt timeout used by Cite. Their second to last of the quarter.
How about the hustle from this whole team? Cross-court pass right into Gomez Jr. They counted it as a long 2. But again, he's been moving his body and just balancing it to the point where he gets a good shot off. But La Cite keeps on coming back. This is a Cole finding Gardner, and he got denied. But it stayed. But regardless, the last few minutes we have seen hustle like we've never seen before.
You know what they say, when the postseason's on the line, you want to do everything you can to get a victory, Aaron.
Your season's on the line, a win's on the line, a playoff position's on the line, and most importantly, your body's on the line. And I think we have seen all of these players sacrificing their bodies out here because who knows, they may not be able to play again tomorrow.
Going to be huge this possession, though. Keep an eye on the perimeter with a chance to tie the game. 2 would bring the game to a 1-point deficit. The Cite possession, 14 seconds on the shot clock, 22.2 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. a chance to go to the OCAA Provincial Championship Final 8 in Sarnia for next weekend on the line. Inbound coming to the right side of the stanchion. Diop, the inbounder for Cite. A call, looking for space, gets it. Backs up for the step back three. Airballs it Deer with the rebound. Avoids two reaches. Cite trying to steal it back. They finally get the foul with 11.8 seconds remaining.
And they have plenty of fouls to give at this point. Just one more at the moment.
And that is the 5th personal for Kalibali. He is done for the night as a result. That will bring Midu back into the game. Still 2 personals needed to come though for Cite to draw the intentional free throws. Cite finishing up their final discussions. Hall will inbound for St. Clair. Cite calling for the foul right away. Keep an eye. Was Parrish trying to draw it? They're still trying to draw the whistle. Finally do after 4 seconds. That needed to come much sooner, Aaron.
It took 4 seconds for them to get that foul. Now both of these clubs, next foul will put them over the limit. Look out for Diop. Cole.
And bounded to Willis Paris. And quickly getting the foul with 6.6 seconds remaining. Now Willis Paris, a 77.8% shooter from the line in the regular season. Biggest trip to the stripe right here. Penny onto the floor. Coming in for Hall.
Willis has 18 points tonight.
Don't forget he's been active on the glass and has been able to deflect a few shots. First one misses. Already Cite starting to prepare. Second one's no good. They don't use the timeout. Chucked up in traffic. No good. St. Clair is moving on to the final 8. 91-88 the final for the St. Clair Saints of the Cite Coyotes. Post-game coverage coming up after these messages. You're watching We Did the Productions live from the St. Croix College Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario.
Mont's On Time Express has all of your delivery needs covered with a fleet of 50 vehicles, including cargo and sprinter vans, along with 24-foot straight trucks. It doesn't matter if the freight is big or small. Mont's On Time Express can guarantee safe and prompt delivery service throughout Canada and the United States. Licensed to broker freight throughout North America, Mont's On Time Express features same-day delivery service, along with a state-of-the-art dispatching system and live GPS tracking assistance. Mont's is fully insured and Canadian bonded and has certifications with FAST, CTAT, PIP, and SmartWay. Mont's On Time Express is open 24 hours a day, 364 days a year. To get your delivery moving, contact Mont's On Time Express at www.montsontime.ca or call toll-free at 877-250-8282.
We are back in the Mont's On Time Express broadcast booth. The final score in this crossover playoff game, the St. Clair Saints 91, the Cite Coyotes 88. I'm Aaron Sanders. This is the player of the game, Josiah Deer. And Josiah, things changed for you guys in the second half. You went on a scoring run, outscored them 34-17 in the third quarter. How are you guys able to explode with a scoring run like that?
We kind of just started off, with jitters because it was our first playoff game for a lot of guys. So after we came out in the second half, we're just like, let's relax and let's get this win.
How important is this win for you guys? First win, of course, in the home playoffs in the last 6 years. This has to be huge for you guys.
It's very big, but we knew that this was going to happen. We just had to buckle down and grind to get it done.
You guys have home court advantage tonight, but now the scene shifts over to Lambton College. Just talk about the mindset going into the final 8 for the Provincial Championship next weekend.
Just play hard because at this point it's win or go home.
Absolutely. We'll be watching for you, and congratulations, Josiah. The player of the game provided key buckets and a lot of threes, no question about it, but the final score right here, the St. Clair Saints 91, the La Cite Coyotes 88. That does it for our men's coverage here, but the action is not over. Be sure to tune in next weekend as we have the Women's Provincial Championship. It starts on March the 6th, 1 p.m. tip, and here's the lineups for the first game. Algoma, Lambton, Fanshawe, Durham, Humber, Sheridan, George Brown, and St. Clair. Those are the 8 teams participating in the Women's Basketball Championship. So be sure to tune in starting Friday, March 6th. We'll see you down the road. But on behalf of the entire We Digital crew, this be Aaron Sanders saying have a good night and so long from the Rose City.